Smith corks one into right down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy.
What is going on, guys? Justin with Go Crazy Card Collecting. I wanted to do a little bit different of a video for you guys this time. Usually I'm showing off some kind of cards or talking about cards. And this time I want to take you on a journey. I'm in Hot Springs, Arkansas. I live in Conway, Arkansas, which is about an hour or so from here. And there is something called the Historic Baseball Trail here. The first thing that I did is I went to the visitor center and I went and got myself a brochure. I've been through this trail several times. There are 33 stops. I'm not going to take you on all of them, but what happened here is in the late 1800s, Cap Anson, after a summer of partying and just drinking and going crazy that his group did, a doctor suggested that they come to the hot springs and they kind of detox and for kind of a spring training type of deal to get ready for the season. Well, when he did that, the team went on to win the pennant. And so for years after that, they did that. Babe Ruth came through here. Many, until the 40s, many of those teams came through here. And this is where spring training was birthed. And so it says even right on here, the birthplace of spring training, Hot Springs, Historic Baseball Trail. I'm going to take you on that journey to some of these places and check this wall out. Massive wall with iconic cards, the Satchel Paige, Jackie, Babe, Honus, Wagner. So come on this journey with me. We're gonna go to a bunch of different stops. I'll read some things, I'll show you some things. Very cool, stick around. I can't wait to show you. Can't forget about the Lefty Grove card that's here as well. He's actually pitching to the other guys. This is kind of the first sign. It kind of gives you a whole history of the trail, and it shows you all the different names of the people who were here. So I'm going to flip this around real quick, and I'm going to read this to you and kind of show you some of these names. And then I'll take you to several signs. Like I'm right in front of the alligator farm, and I'll tell you why that's significant in a minute. It's a really cool thing. Please stick with me. All right, it says Hot Springs, the birthplace of spring baseball. Hot Springs' reputation as a health and recreation resort attracted the rich and famous was certainly true in the late 1800s. And well into the 20th century, the city had fine hotels, lively nightclubs, a beautiful mountain setting, and the famous hot water from natural springs. In 1886, this is what I was talking about, Cap Anson brought his Chicago White Stockings, now the Cubs, to Hot Springs. This bustling turn-of-the-century spa resort, with its famous hot baths, mountains, trails, hotels, and activities, was the perfect place for something no one had heard of, spring training for professional baseball. Soon, teams had built 5 fields, and as many as 250 players, including the legends of the game, trained here year after year. And then it says, now you can follow the Hot Springs Baseball Trail and stand where the legends stood. There are different pictures of different locations. I'll take you to some of those. Very cool. And here's some of the names. Birthplace of Hot Springs Baseball. These Hall of Famer inductees trained here or had significant connections to Hot Springs. Hank Aaron, Cap Anson, Yogi Berra, Eddie Collins. Some of these names are awesome. Dizzy Dean, Joe DiMaggio, Jimmy Fox, Josh Gibson, Goose Goslin, Lefty Grove, I showed you that card earlier. Rogers Hornsby, one of my Cardinals. George Kell, he's an Arkansan. Mickey Mantle had his honeymoon here. Stan the Man, my guy. Jackie Robinson, Brooks Robinson, Babe Ruth, George Sisler. I'm here at Whittington Park. More baseball was played in the ballpark on this corner than anywhere else in Hot Springs. Built in 1894 and used until 1942, Whittington Park, later named Ban Johnson Field, was the epicenter of baseball in Hot Springs. A partial list of those who played classic games here includes Cy Young, Honus Wagner, Buck Freeman, Sam Crawford, Walter Johnson, Tris Speaker, and Babe Ruth. Really cool. There's a deal back here they said was part of the the field, but I'm not exactly sure. It could have been bleachers, I guess. Seems a bit steep. But that was part of the field that was here. There's another sign over there about Mel Ott. But what's really cool is this deal right here. One of the highlights of that period came on St. Patrick's Day in 1918, when the Boston Red Sox relented under heavy pressure from their star left-handed pitcher George Herman Ruth to allow him to play the outfield and, more importantly, hit on a regular basis. That afternoon at a crowded Whittington Park, Babe hit a pitch from Brooklyn pitcher that traveled 573 feet from here. This was the home plate of that field. 573 feet into that alligator farm across the street. There's a little plaque in there around the exactly kind of where it went in. It's a long way. Pretty cool to know that I'm standing exactly where Babe Ruth stood when he hit that 573-foot home run. Here's Fogle Field. This field, also known as Fordyce Field, was constructed in 1912 by the Hot Springs Park Company to meet the demand of over 250 major leaguers training in Hot Springs. Philadelphia Phillies owner Horace Fogle leased the field for his team. The Phillies roster included pitching legend Grover Cleveland Alexander and slugging outfielders Gavy Cravath and Sherwood McGee, if I said those right. The training ground was later used by the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is where the field was. They cleared it out. They said that up until a few years ago, there were trees and everything here, but now they kind of cut it in the shape that the field would have been. The alligator farm's like right down there. But this is a field that was used during spring training. If you guys watch me at all, you knew I had to stop by the Stan Musial one. Legendary Hall of Famer slugger Stan Musial often visited Hot Springs to prepare for one of his 22 stellar seasons in Major League Baseball. Stan would come with the St. Louis Cardinals teammates and owner August Busch to take the baths and enjoy the races at Oaklawn Park. Stan the Man became one of the most respected and beloved figures in the history of the game. It's right in front of the Catholic Church, St. Mary's. Right next to it's Al Simmons. Very cool. So many of these signs, these green, they're beautiful. These awesome signs. They have little QR codes at the bottom. That will kind of guide the tour for you, give you an audio deal of the tour right on your phone, or you can kind of just go around and read all the signs. This is Bathhouse Row, where they spend a lot of time going to the spas and the baths, enjoying the hot springs. These are all the buildings from back then, over 100 years old, and all the baseball players, a lot of the mob. There's a lot of mob stuff here too. They all spent so much time on this row of bathhouses. I brought you guys over to Majestic Field. I'll show you that in here in just a minute. But built in 1909 as the Boston Red Sox training center, this field was also used by the Cincinnati Reds and Brooklyn Dodgers. In March 1918, during the batting practice, Babe Ruth hit many home runs over the distant center field fence, predicting his change from pitcher to slugging center outfielder. Good grief, I can't read. Cy Young, Tris Speaker, Smokey Joe Wood, and many others also trained here. This sign over here is really, really cool. We're talking about Jackie Robinson was here too. One of the most important events in Hot Springs history occurred where you are standing. On October 22, 1953, the legendary Jackie Robinson played an exhibition game here at J.C. Field with Gil Hodges, Luke Easter, and other fellow big leaguers. Robinson is recognized as the man who broke the color barrier in Major League Baseball. I'll show you the field here in just a minute. Like I'm standing right here, the field has been built differently now. They kind of, this used to be the field, I think, and they moved it down there. There's some statues and stuff down there. So I'm going to take you down there here in just a minute show you those statues. I think some things, there's probably a tournament this weekend. This is earlier on Friday, so I'm sure they're moving in for a tournament here shortly, but I'll show you what's going on. Here we are at Majestic Park. I was kind of in that background way over there with the Jackie Robinson sign. There are several fields here. One of them in the distance, that's Babe Ruth Field. There's Hank Aaron Field over here. There's some statues in there. I'll show you those in a minute. There are a couple more signs. Here's a Rogers Hornsby sign. At the conclusion of his historic Hall of Fame career, Rogers the Raja Hornsby returned to Hot Springs to oversee the nationally recognized baseball school founded here in 1933 by Ray Doan. The school prospered for years, training young players from around the country. Instructors including George Sisler, Groveland, Cleveland, Alexander, Grover, did I say Groveland? Grover, Cleveland, Alexander, and Dizzy Dean. There's another one over here for Hank Aaron. At this field on October 1st, 1952, 18-year-old Hank Aaron and the Indianapolis Clowns played in one of 12 games of the Negro League World Series against the Birmingham Black Barons. During the series, Aaron batted .402 and slugged 5 home runs, leading his team to the championship. Hammerin' Hank eventually broke Babe Ruth's home run record by recording 755 Major League home runs. If you come into the field, I'm not going to take you all the way around the field, but there are several, like I said, there are several fields here. You can kind of see a map of it. Babe Ruth Field, Hank Aaron Field, Cy Young, Honus Wagner, and Jackie Robinson. Those are all the dedicated fields. There's a Babe Ruth, several historic signs kind of go in that direction. And not too long ago, they resurrected this plaque of the Babe, or not a plaque, but a statue. It's a really big statue, actually. I don't know why I said plaque. Let's just say, the Hamby family, in honor of the late Daniel B. Hamby Jr. So anyways, this is where some things happen, but there are a lot of tournaments that go on here. It was constructed in 2021. Thought it'd be cool to show you guys this with this nice statue of Babe Ruth. Like I said, guys, that was just a little bit different of a video for me. Usually I'm showing cards and talking baseball cards and things like that, but I wanted to show you a little bit of the history of what's going on here in this awesome, awesome city of Hot Springs. So I hope you stuck around. There is a baseball weekend that happens here in August. If you're going, I'd love to see you. There's a lot of Hall of Famers that will be here. There'll be a 2-day, it's actually 2 one-day shows. Used to be a one-day show. There's another show coming on Friday. So come on, come see me. Come check out this historic city. Check out where spring training was formed, and see a lot of places where Babe Ruth, Jackie Robinson, and a bunch of the others stood. Very, very cool. Love you guys. Stay blessed. Have a good one.